Chapter 3. One of Mariam's earliest memories was the sound of a wheelbarrow's squeaky iron wheels bouncing over rocks. The wheelbarrow came once a month, filled with rice, flour, tea, sugar, cooking oil, soap, toothpaste. It was pushed by two of Mariam's half-brothers, usually Mohsen and Ramin, sometimes Ramin and Farhad, up the dirt track over rocks and pebbles, around holes and bushes. The boys took turns pushing until they reached the stream. There the wheelbarrow had to be emptied and the items hand carried across the water. Then the boys would transfer the wheelbarrow across the stream and load it up again. Another 200 yards of pushing followed, this time through tall, dense grass and around thickets of shrubs. Frogs leaped out of their way. The brothers waved mosquitoes from their sweaty faces. "He has servants," Mariam said. "He could send a servant." "His idea of penance," Nana said. The sound of the wheelbarrow drew Mariam and Nana outside. Mariam would always remember Nana the way she looked on ration day, a tall, bony, barefoot woman, leaning in the doorway, her lazy eye narrowed to the slit, arms crossed in a defiant and mocking way. Her short-cropped, sunlit hair would be uncovered and uncombed. She would wear an ill-fitting grey shirt buttoned to the throat. The pockets were filled with walnut-sized rocks. The boys sat by the stream and waited as Mariam and Nana transferred the ration to the Kaaba. They knew better than to get any closer than 30 yards. Even though Nana's aim was poor and most of the rocks landed well short of their targets. Nana yelled at the boys as she carried bags of rice inside and called them names Mariam did not understand. She cursed their mothers, made hateful faces at them. The boys never returned the insults. Mariam felt sorry for the boys. How tired their arms and legs must be, she thought pityingly, pushing that heavy load. She wished she were allowed to offer them water, but she said nothing, and if they waved at her, she didn't wave back. Once, to please Nana, Mariam even yelled at Mohsen, told him he had a mouth shaped like a lizard's ass, and was consumed later with guilt, shame, and fear that they would tell Jalil. Nana, though, laughed so hard, her rotting front tooth in full display, that Mariam thought she would lapse into one of her fits. She looked at Mariam when she was done and said, "You are a good daughter." When the barrow was empty, the boys scuffled back and pushed it away. Mariam would wait and watch them disappear into the tall grass and flowering weeds. "Are you coming?" "Yes, Nana." "They laugh at you." "They do. I hear them." "I am coming." "You don't believe me." "Here I am." "You know I love you, Mariam Jo." In the mornings they awoke to the distant bleating of sleep and the high-pitched toot of a flute as Guldaman's shepherds led their flock to graze on a grassy hillside. Mariam and Nana milked the goats, fed the hens, and collected eggs. They made bread together. Nana showed her how to knead dough, how to kindle the tandoor and slap the flattened dough onto its inner walls. Nana taught her to sew too, and to cook rice and all the different toppings. Shalgam stew with turnip, spinach, sabzi, cauliflower with ginger. Nana made no secret of her dislike for visitors, and in fact people in general, but she made exceptions for a select few. And so there was Guldaman's leader, the village Arbab, Habib Khan, a small-headed, bearded man with a large belly, who came by once a month or so, tailed by a servant who carried a chicken, sometimes a pot of khichdi rice or a basket of dyed eggs for Mariam. And then there was the rotund old woman that Nana had called Bibi Jo, whose late husband had been a stone carver and friends with Nana's father. Bibi Jo was invariably accompanied by one of her 6 brides, and a grandchild or two. She limped and huffed her way across the clearing and made a great show of rubbing her hip and lowering herself with a pained sigh onto the chair that Nana pulled up for her. Bibujo too always brought Mariam something: a box of dish lemon candy, a basket of quinces. For Nana, she first brought complaints about and her then failing gossip from Harith and Guldaman, delivered at length and with gusto, as her daughter-in-law sat listening quietly and dutifully behind her. But Mariam's favorite, other than Jalil of course, was Mullah Faizullah, the elderly village Quran tutor. It's a Khan. He came by once or twice a week from Guldaman to teach Mariam the 5 daily namaz prayers and tutor her in Quran recitation, just as he had taught Nana when she had been a little girl. It was Mullah Faizullah who had taught Mariam to read, who had patiently looked over her shoulder as her lips worked the words soundlessly, her index finger lingering beneath each word, pressing until the nail bed went white, as though she could squeeze the meaning out of the symbols. It was Mullah Faizullah who had held her hand, guided the pencil in it along the rise of each alif, the curve of each bay, and 3 dots of each say. He was a gaunt, stooping old man with a toothless smile and a white beard that dropped to his navel. Usually he came alone to the kolba, though sometimes with his russet-haired son, Hamza, who was a few years older than Mariam. When he showed up at the kolba, Mariam kissed Mullah Faizullah's hand, which felt like kissing a set of twigs covered with a thin layer of skin, and he kissed the top of her brow before they sat inside for the day's lesson. After the two of them sat outside the kolba, ate pine nuts, and sipped green tea, watched the bulbul birds darting from tree to tree. Sometimes they went for walks among the bronze fallen leaves and adler bushes. Along the stream and towards the mountains, Mullah Faizullah twirled the beads of his tasbih, drowsily as they strolled, and in his quavering voice told Mariam stories of all the things he'd seen in his youth, like the 2-headed snake he had found in Iran on Isfahan 33 Arc Bridge, or the watermelon he had split once outside the Blue Mosque in Mazar to find the seeds forming the words Allah on one half, Akbar on the other. Mullah Faizullah admitted to Mariam that at times he did not understand the meaning of the Quran's words, but he said he liked the enchanting sounds the Arabic words made as they rolled off his tongue. He said they comforted him, eased his heart. They will comfort you too, Mariam Jo, he said. You can summon them in your time of need, and they won't fail you. God's word will never betray you, my girl. Mullah Faizullah listened to stories as well as he told them. When Mariam spoke, his attention never wavered. He nodded slowly and smiled with a look of gratitude, as if he had been granted a covered privilege. It was easy to tell Mullah Faizullah things that Mariam didn't dare tell Nana. One day, as they were walking, Mariam told him that she wished she would be allowed to go to school. I mean a real school, Akhand Sahib, like in a classroom, like my father's other kids. Mullah Faizullah stopped. The week before, Bibi Jo had brought news that Jalil's daughter, Sayyida and Nahid, were going to the Mehri, school for girls in Harith. Since then, thoughts of classrooms and teachers has rattled around Mariam's head. Images of notebooks with lined pages, columns of numbers, and pens that made dark, heavy marks. She pictured herself in a classroom with other girls her age. Mariam longed to place a ruler on a page and draw important-looking lines. Is that what you want? Mullah Faizullah said, looking at her with his soft, watery eyes, his hands behind his stooping back, the shadow of his turban falling on a patch of bristling buttercups. Yes. And you want me to ask your mother for permission? Mariam smiled. Other than Jalil, she thought there was no one in the world who understood her better than her old tutor. Then what can I do? God, in His wisdom, has given us each weaknesses, and foremost among my many is that I am powerless to refuse you, Mariam Jo, he said, tapping her cheek with one arthritic finger. But later, when he broached Nana, she dropped the knife with which she was slicing onions. What for? If the girl wants to learn, let her, my dear. Let the girl have an education. Learn? Learn what, Mullah Sahib? Nana said sharply. What is there to learn? She snapped her eyes towards Mariam. Mariam looked down at her hands. What's the sense schooling a girl like you? It's like shining a spit on, and you will learn nothing of value in those schools. There is only one skill a woman like you and me needs in life, and they don't teach it in school. Look at me. You should not speak like this to her, my child, Mullah Fazullah said. Look at me, Mariam did. Only one skill, and it's this, tahammul, endure. Endure what, Nana? Oh, don't you fret about that, Nana said. There won't be any shortage of things. She went on to say how Jalil's wives had called her an ugly, lowly stone carver's daughter, how they'd made her wash laundry outside in the cold, until her face went numb and her fingertips burned. It's our lot in life, Mariam. Women like us, we endure. It's all we have. Do you understand? Besides, they will laugh at you in school. They will. They'll call you harami. They'll say the most terrible things about you. I won't have it, Mariam nodded. And no more talk about school. You're all I have. I won't lose you to them. Look at me. No more talk about school. Be reasonable. Come now. If the girl wants, Mullah Fazullah began, and you, Akhand Sahib, with all due respect, you should know better than to encourage these foolish ideas of her. If you really care about her, then you make her see that she belongs here at home with her mother. There is nothing out there for her. Nothing but rejection and heartache. I know, Akhand Sahib, I know.